Welcome to today's interactive explainer. You know, we've literally all been there. You're mid-sentence and you just pause, second-guessing if you should say a, the, or just nothing at all before a noun. Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we've got a really clear goal. We're going to eliminate that hesitation completely. We're going to master how to use, or actually when specifically not to use, articles with non-count nouns. So get ready, because this is going to be a super practical, hands-on session. And who better to help us out than the American English Academy? Think of us as your friendly, expert guide for today's fast-paced practice review. The Academy is all about making tricky English grammar concepts incredibly clear and accessible, and today's explainer, it's designed to give you exactly that. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap. First, substance and abstract nouns, then illnesses and common nouns. After that, we'll do some fill-in-the-blanks practice, move on to spot the arrow practice, and finally, wrap up with how to subscribe and keep learning. Let's kick things off with Section 1, Substance and Abstract Nouns. Let's start with our first major category of grammatical traps. We're talking about substance non-count nouns. So these are materials, elements, or substances that we typically deal with in bulk, rather than as individual countable items. Think about gasoline, soap, wool, cement, dirt, and plastic. You don't ask for a gasoline, right? You just ask, hey, did you remember to put gas in the car? It's all about everyday actions. You wash your hands with soap, not a soap. Or if you're working outside, your hands get covered in dirt, definitely not the dirt. These substances are powerful enough to stand entirely on their own, no article needed. Now, let's think about how we visualize abstract concepts. These are ideas, emotions, or qualities that you can't actually physically touch. Look at anger, confidence, information, love, satisfaction, wealth, or intelligence. Even though they're completely invisible, they are vividly real. Just picture a soccer player kicking a ball. They do it with confidence, right? Not a confidence. Or imagine someone whose face turns bright red with anger, not the anger. Because these are broad, general concepts, we just drop the article completely. Moving right along to Section 2, Illnesses and Common Nouns. Building on those everyday scenarios, let's look at some incredibly common non-count nouns that trip up learners literally all the time. We've got clothing, homework, jewelry, pollution, research, violence, and work. I know, it is so tempting to say an interesting research or a homework, but honestly, that's a total trap. Instead, we say rivers are ruined by pollution, or you tell a friend you can't talk right now because you're busy doing homework. These are broad categories, so again, no article at all. Now, when it comes to illnesses, the crucial point is exactly what we see right here. Sometimes there are absolutely no rules in English to follow. For medical conditions, there just isn't a neat, logical system. As frustrating as that is, the best strategy is honestly to just memorize them as you need them. Seriously, just look at the absolute chaos of English illnesses on this table. The variety is wild. Something like measles takes the definite article, the measles. But then, if your head or stomach hurts, you switch to the indefinite article, a stomachache, a headache. And yet, for chronic conditions like diabetes or sudden pains like cramps, we use absolutely no article at all, just diabetes and cramps. It is completely unpredictable, which is exactly why repetition and practice are going to be your best friends here. All right, let's get into Section 3, Practice Fill in the Blanks. Go ahead and shake out the tension because it's time to shift the energy. Welcome to the active workout phase of this explainer. Here's your very first challenge. The sentence is, blank violin is a difficult instrument to play. So what goes in that blank? A, an, the, or absolutely nothing. Take a split second to lock in your guess. If you guessed the, you totally nailed it. The violin is a difficult instrument to play. When we talk about musical instruments in a general sense like this, we typically use the. Okay, let's try another one. The sidewalk in front of our house is made from blank cement. Think back to our warm-up a few minutes ago. What kind of noun is cement? Lock in your answer. And the answer is zero article. No article at all. Cement is a substance non-count noun. Just like dirt or plastic, it stands entirely on its own. Excellent job if you caught that and avoided the trap of saying a cement. Looking at the full board for Quick Check 1 here, you can really start to see the patterns emerging. Notice how information takes no article, because it's an abstract non-count noun. But look down at number 4. We say the flu. Jump to number 6. It's an envelope, because an envelope is a specific, countable physical object. And number 7, just work. No article needed after a long day of it. Seeing the whole picture like this really helps reinforce these patterns. On to Section 4, practice. Spot the error. Ready to level up? We're moving from just filling in blanks to actively playing editor. Here's your first sentence to fix. Use a soap and water to wash your hands, please. There is an article in there that simply does not belong. Can you spot it? Take a second. Boom. You need to cross out the A right before soap. Like we learned earlier, soap is a substance, non-count noun. You just say, use soap and water. It sounds so much more natural and conversational once you strip away that unnecessary article. Next challenge up. Are children born with an intelligence, or do they develop it over time? Think back to our category of ideas and concepts. Find the error and just cross it out in your mind. Exactly right. Cross out an. Intelligence is an abstract noun. You literally cannot hold a single unit of intelligence in your hand, so we definitely do not use an. The correct phrasing is simply, are children born with intelligence? Fantastic work reinforcing that foundation today. Let's wrap up this workout by looking at the fully corrected board for quick check 2. You can see we crossed out the before diabetes. Remember those incredibly tricky illness rules? We also crossed out the before jewelry. But definitely check out sentences 4 and 6. Air pollution is a factor in climate change is perfectly correct with no article at all before air pollution. And have an apple is correct simply because an apple is a distinct, countable item. And finally, Section 5, subscribe and keep learning. And that brings us to the end of our grammar workout. I really want to praise you for your incredible focus and effort today. Let's be real, English articles can be incredibly frustrating, but by breaking them down into clear visual rules and actually doing this active practice, you are training your brain to stop second guessing. If you found this practice review helpful, I highly encourage you to subscribe to the American English Academy channel. We've got countless more interactive explainers just like this one to help you refine your skills. I'll leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Now that you know the hidden rules and, well, the places where rules don't even exist, are you ready to finally speak and write English without ever second-guessing yourself again? Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.